Mike the Troop Jackson here at Houston Muay Thai, and I'm joined by Houston's own Alex Morono, former Legacy champ, and you just made your UFC debut.
Yeah.
How you feeling, man?
Oh, dude, awesome. Took the fight short notice and went in there to win and did some good damage and came out with the victory.
Now let's rewind a little bit. We haven't spoken since you won the Legacy welterweight title. You went into Derek Krantz's hometown, Shreveport, Louisiana, and you came out victorious. For you, what kind of pressure was it going into his backyard and taking on a champion?
There really wasn't any extra pressure. My mentality for MMA has always been probably my strongest asset. But one thing that fight really did well was I got in shape for a five-minute round fight. So I got like super confidence in my abilities for that fight and went and like ended it way quicker than we had planned to go to the 4th and 5th round and finish him there. And then I felt the cardio difference after our few wrestling exchanges and went for the finish early and got it. And was very, very happy with that performance.
Yeah, you definitely look good in that. How much time went between winning the title that Friday night and then getting a call to step into the UFC?
So just over 2 weeks. It was maybe 2 weeks and 3 or 4 days, and I had a cut on my eye, and it had just healed that Saturday, and I was training for this fight to win pro jiu-jitsu match. So I was in okay shape. I was doing sprints, but I really didn't do any contact. I did almost no sparring, and I had just started to grapple. And sure enough, man, that Monday, like the second day I was able to train again, I got a call from Joe Silva at the gym and asking me to fight. So I went into fight camp that same second. And I had like from Monday to train. And then I went to Vegas on Tuesday.
Now you got the call. Was there any hesitation at all, or did you immediately say, you wanted it?
No, so he actually started out the question with all of my welterweights on the roster said no because it's short notice. Do you want to fight January 2nd, which was, I think, like 11 or 12 days from when he had called me. And I told him, I was like, dude, I'm very interested. I'm in good shape right now, and I can make weight, and I did pretty easily. And he contacted my manager. My manager called me back saying the fight was booked.
Nice. Now, you're taking on Kyle Noak, veteran in the UFC. You're the second Legacy champion to defeat him. What kind of preparations and game planning were you going in, knowing that he was such an experienced fighter in the UFC?
So even though it was a difficult scenario, it couldn't have played out better for my style. I went in short notice as the underdog, and as a replacement, and I asked my manager, like, hey, can I go in there and swing for the fences? And he told me yes. He said, so I did. I don't know if you guys watched the fight, but I threw super heat in that fight. Some sloppy punches, but if they had connected, like the one that had broke his nose did, I definitely thought I could knock him out and really tried to.
I guess that was the game plan, was a swing for the fences.
Yeah.
It seemed like you were throwing everything into every shot. At any point, did you feel maybe the cardio was coming down a little bit, or did you feel good going into the 3rd round?
Believe it or not, considering I had 2 weeks, my cardio was awesome. I've gassed in previous fights, but it was from being far too tense. So man, I felt super comfortable walking in. I could hear my corners beautifully. Every time I threw an overhand that missed, they were like, straighten it up, and I'd give them a nod. But no, man, I didn't get that tired. I got fight tired, but I was super not only surprised, but like happy with how my gas tank held out for that fight.
Now, what kind of pressure is it? You took the fight on short notice, 11 days notice. What kind of pressure was that on you? Were any nerves, any jitters? They say that the UFC debut jitters is a real thing. Was it real for you?
It was not, man. I felt as comfortable as could be in that octagon. I was more excited than nervous, and that excitement just kind of translated to performing well, and I can't wait to get a knockout in that octagon. It will happen. Hope next time is my prediction.
I think definitely they're going to be looking for that, especially looking at that particular fight, seeing the shots that you were throwing. Now, you did break his nose. It was pretty messy situation that you went into with that. And do you remember the exact punch that broke the nose?
So I remember landing the right hand in the first round, and I knew it hit him flush. I didn't know his nose was broken until the second round. I remember even mid-fight, I was contemplating. I was like, man, is his nose broken, or is he just a fighter? And that's what his face looks like. And then it started bleeding, and then I saw it moving. I saw a little bone in there shifting around. I was like, oh, that nose is broken. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but in the second round, I told him something like, like either your nose is broken or did you break your nose or I broke your nose. I told him one of the three, and he just gave me like a no, keep fighting thing. It was pretty funny, but I knew in the second round. In the third round, when I was trying to be a little more conservative, I just stuck a jab. If you guys can watch it, I landed like 6 or 7 very hard jabs, like directly at his face.
Going into the third round, where did you see yourselves on the scorecards?
So my corner told me I was doing well, but we assumed I was down at least one of the two, if not both. So same thing, man. Just keep it short and land your punches. And again, it was pretty even. He was a little more active, but I definitely landed the better shots. And then he scored the takedown with the last minute, but I threw that armbar on. And I don't know, he's just tough. I mean,
yeah. Now, how tight was it?
Dude, it was popping. Like my extension was maxed out on an armbar. Like my hips and back were totally bridged, and you could see my face. I was trying to break it, and it was popping. But once I hit that maximum point of like pulling and bridging, I knew it wasn't gonna get any worse. So like he had weathered the storm, seen how bad it could have gotten, and ended up getting out that way. But I know on the suspension list, he had a broken nose, and he had put a paper in for his elbow being strained. So I knew it did damage.
Now, at the end of the fight, they're announcing the decision. Where you could, before they even announced it was a split decision, what was going through your mind?
So again, my corner, Gerardo, you guys know Gerardo, he was pretty confident. He was like, dude, you won that fight. And so I went in there thinking I had won, and especially seeing the damage difference, I was pretty confident. First judge gave it to me, and I was like content. I was like, you know what, that makes sense. And then they said 30-27 on the second judge, and that just blasted me with confusion and a little bit of doubt. And I was like, well, shit, if that guy thinks I lost all the round, what does this third judge think? And they said 29-28. I was like, could be me, and then boom, said my name. And dude, I wasn't surprised I won the fight. I was surprised I got called 11 days out against a freaking 10-fight UFC vet, and then beat him in Vegas. That's what that face was about. That was awesome.
That was a face of pure joy, and that was the Alex Morono face that we love to see.
Yeah.
You got the win. What's next as far as UFC goes?
So now that I have the funds, I got to get a couple medical things taken care of. But as soon as I am good to be back in fight camp, I'm going to book a fight. So, I mean, definitely this year, probably near the end of the year. But as soon as I can, man, I'm going to get back in that octagon and get that knockout.
There you go. Now, stepping away from MMA for a second, we know prior to this being scheduled, you had a jiu-jitsu tournament. This is sort of like a Metamoris here in Houston. What's your thoughts on the rise of level of jiu-jitsu here in town?
Man, so in order for something to be popular enough, money has to be made. I mean, or else people aren't going to put the effort into it, which makes sense from like an economic and business standpoint. And the way jiu-jitsu tournaments are now, you have to pay to compete and win gold medals, which is awesome. The point system, I think, kills it, makes it very boring to watch. I'm a black belt, and sometimes I get bored. This type of match, submission only 8-minute matches, super fights against the city's best grapplers is the best way to market jiu-jitsu. So I was telling my students, like, this is bigger than me. Go support this show. I'm still competing. I have an injury I'm dealing with, but again, I want to be a part of this show. I want to see it as successful as possible so it can elevate the popularity of jiu-jitsu and maybe get it to where these athletes are actually making money opposed to paying to compete. They're getting paid to compete. So I think it's a big step for the martial art, and I'm very excited to be a part of it and really like to push that style of competition.
Definitely. We're looking forward to seeing it. I know there'll probably be some videos and photos going on. Real quick before we get out, you are just another legacy champion that has made it to the UFC. Do you feel that's the stepping stone to get to the next level, is becoming a champion for Legacy or those type of organizations?
Oh, absolutely. Legacy, man, Mick knows, man. Thank you so much for everything. I've known him since I was like 16 or 17, 25 now. And yeah, he's done such a good job, and I'm honored to be part of that legacy crew with like Holly and Thomas Almeida and Derek Lewis and Sage and all those guys. It's fun to be in that group, and I just want those guys to do as well as possible. I'm gonna do as best I can to represent Legacy and Houston as a whole. Very, very proud to do that.
There you go. Alex Morono, congratulations.
Thank you very much.